Make the ground shake.
Hello everyone and welcome to another tank review. This time we are looking at the Tier 8 Japanese medium tank, the STA-1. The STA-1 is sort of a average medium, Tier 8 medium tank. I mean, it doesn't excel at anything, but it's not bad, but it doesn't have huge drawbacks like some of the other Tier 8 mediums do. Now, as always, we will look into the armor first of any tank. With this tank, there isn't much of it, to be honest. I mean, 45 at the front, which can be penned by anything, and 50 on the bottom, which also can be penned by anything. The side of the hull, even worse, 35, which is sort of an auto bounce for anything above 90 millimeters, with this one's even at 30, and the rear it's 20. So RT splashes do hurt this tank quite a bit. The only thing about this thing that has reasonable amounts of armor is the gun mantlet. I mean, even if it's not that good, but it can pull off a bounce or two every now and then. As you can see on the outer parts, its ricochet zones 200, 290, but if your shots hits the turret, it will penetrate because it is only 60 millimeters and it's not that well angled to be at an auto bounce zone. The turret hatch also a very big spot, but you can see it that it's sort of an advantage because if you move, it's very hard to hit and you can spot the enemies easier since the rangefinder is on the top. So the armor it's not reliable. Never expect to bounce anything. If you bounce, you just got lucky, let's be honest. Play it very cautiously and you'll do just fine. Another great thing about this thing is its gun depression. So if you use most of it, the mantlet gets even better, but that's just be cautious with it. I mean, it's a large silhouette even from the side, so there is that. Another thing to note, the gun elevation is pretty poor on this, so be wary of that because sometimes it can let you down, but it's not often the case of it. I will compare it to the Indian Panzer since I think it's the closest medium tank to this. I mean, both have sort of shaky armor values, both have a 90 millimeter gun with around the same penetration. If we look into the details, we can see that this thing has a slight penetration increase by about 7, but it doesn't make that much of a difference. The alpha damage is exactly the same at 240, and the DPM is slightly worse. It's only marginal, so I would say it's the same. The ammo capacity at 50 is sort of low, but I haven't had any issues with it, to be honest. And the shell velocity is pretty bad in this thing. I mean, it doesn't snipe very well, but you can get used to it. The view range is one of the best in the tier at 390. If you put optics in it, you will have a very decent view range, and the camo values are surprisingly good on this thing, so a camo chrome can be an option. The accuracy at 0.36 It can be better, but it's not bad either. The aim time is pretty good at 2.3 seconds. It's much better than the Indians at 2.7 seconds, which is one of its main drawbacks. And as you can see, these soft stats here are pretty good, unlike any other Japanese medium tank, which means that firing on the move is a viable tactic. With this, auto-aiming and firing works, unlike some other tier 8 mediums. The gun elevation, as I said, is annoying sometimes at only plus 13, but that's that, and it has a very good minus 10 degrees of gun depression. The turret and hull traverse are pretty okay, if not the best of the tier 8 mediums. This tank is very agile in its place, but its top speed of 45 really lets it down. The power to weight is better than the Indian Panzers. Combined with its better soft stats means that this thing can out accelerate it, but the top speed kind of lets it down, so I would say in mobility terms they're about equal. The health pool is very good, it has to be said. I mean, it's pretty much the highest of any other tier 8 medium. I can't think of one apart from maybe the Panther 2 that has a higher HP than this tank. If we look on what to mount as an equipment choice, as always with any tank, if it's possible, mount a gun armor and a bird stab. Getting those shots earlier and faster is always better. And for the turret slot, you have a very good base viewing, so optics, I would recommend optics 70% all the times and vents only 30, because you won't have such a good crew in this tank. Let's be honest, you are grinding through it, so at most you will have a 3 skill crew, which means that you cannot afford that you can mount vents over optics. And for equipment, I would definitely mount a fire extinguisher, because this thing has probably the transmission in the front, so the engine gets damaged from the front and you do get set on fire from the front, which is super annoying, but that is that. And a small repair and a small medkit. If we look into the crew skills, as always, really 6 cents a must, and I would prioritize the aiming skills like snapshots and smooth ride. For the loader, I played this thing without safe storage. The ammo racks are pretty okay and quite durable, but you can go with it. For the second skills, I would go 50% camo, 50% repair. That is up to you. If you want, you can go with off-road driving for the driver, but I would not recommend. I mean, the soft stats are decent enough, and the tank is quite nippy even without them, so prioritize those other crew skills. With this garage review, I think it's time for us to get into the game. And here we are in the game. It's a standard battle on Malinovka, and I am top tier, which is very good news for the STA-2. I mean, this tank is capable even in tier 9 and 10 games, but it's when you get this kind of a matchup, you will really have to put on your best performance in order to ensure a win. Now, since their ELC made an aggressive push, I know that at least he won't go into the bushes on C5 and will be able to spot me. Unfortunately, some of the other lights do spot me, but nobody takes a shot. The position I'm about to use is quite risky, but it can be quite rewarding if you have backup from your team, if they are situated along F7. And this position works in any tank with reasonable gun depression, and even tanks, and since the STA has a great gun depression of -10 degrees, as I said, this will work out just fine. I do have optics on this thing, which means that I am able to spot all of these guys here, and I'm spotting for my team as well. And I do put 2 shots into the Panther 88. The Ferdinand bounces me, which shows that this tank does have a very trollish mantlet, and I put a shot into him. Unfortunately, it doesn't hit its sort of cheek on the front, it goes into the frontal plate, and that doesn't go through. This shot was just poorly taken. I didn't want to stay in the open. I don't want to exchange shots with a Ferdinand. I mean, his gun hits a lot harder than mine. The good thing about this is that all of their team is camping in the base. Pretty much nobody went to the hill, which means that if I just spot here and deal damage consistently, the win will be ours. I do take a blind fire here, and I will take them a bit more often, just so I can be sure that they are not camping in those positions. I do move up now, but I will still have to be very careful, because if they spot me, I'm basically dead. I do see the M6 and the Tiger. I do prioritize the Tiger, and since the Tiger is unspotted, I do blind fire on the M6. I don't know if that matters. I do get spotted by the Ferdinand, and I don't want to get shot, so I fall back. I mean, the shot on the Tiger one would not have been worth it if the Ferdinand managed to hit me. Since now I am unspotted, I focus down the Tiger one with auto aim, and I do have side shots on the M6. I blind fire at him and I take him out. I do have shots on the ass on the Tiger. One hits, and since the AMX 5100 is spotted as well, I do take a shot in him, since he is a very dangerous machine. Even though it needs a good player to do well, it still can deal damage quite effectively. So at this point I just hesitate here. There are a lot of tanks, I don't want to move up. We have time, and I do put a side shot into that Ferdinand, and he gets taken out. I am using now these bushes to spot, but these aren't my spots. The Chaffee is spotting them, and that shot on the type was really bad. Now I take another shot, and this one does hit, which is very good news. Now for this moment I don't want to move forward. I mean, I do have some shots, and I will try to take them. That was highly unlikely that it would have panned, but it was worth the try. I do get spotted by the AMX 5100 or the Panther, I don't know which one is it. The Tiger 2 is sitting in the open together with the Panther, and I take out the Panther since he was on low enough HP, so I could take him out in one shot. The Type is spotted, but I highly doubted that I would have been able to hit him. And now I do have shots on this AMX 5100. I do get spotted by him, or the Aufklärungspanther. I don't know which spotted me, but now that I am unspotted, that means that I can move up. This battle is pretty much over now, we're just cleaning up. And the STA struggles a bit with it because of its top speed. I mean, there are a lot faster machines in tier 8. I do have shots on the side of Awful Panther, and I take him out. The Tiger 2 is in the open. I take a snapshot. Unfortunately, it hits his upper plate. He bounces on my mantlet, and for the next shot I do manage to hit his side armor. The RT is now spotted. He is behind some cover, and I bounce on the RT, and I know that the Comet will take care of him. There is no point of me just wasting a shot. There is a full HP STA here. I do auto-aim him and hit him once more. I disable my auto-aim and put another shot in. Unfortunately, it hits his gun mantlet and it doesn't go in. And that's third shot in him. He isn't even looking at me. No, that's fourth shot, and I ram him. He shoots me, but I am on high enough HP and I just take him out. That was kill number 5. I will go for the Type, but he will get taken out by the ISU. That was a very good game. Let's look into the post-battle results. And here are the post-battle results of that game. As you can see, I've got Ace Tanker and some tokens. From the Battle Hero medals, we've got only High Caliber. We were 1 kill away from the Top Gun, but I'm fine with this result, to be honest. If you look into the team score, we can see that we did finish on top on XP by quite a bit, with 1340 base, with 4400 being with that amount of damage done, with 5 kills, as I said, 1 away from a Top Gun. And if we look into the detailed results, we can see that this thing that we did fire 31 shots, 26 pens, hits and 20 penetrations, which means that the gun did pretty alright, considering we did fire around 3 to 4 blind shots, and some of the shots I fired weren't even aimed, so they hit at a hard points of some things. From our 4.4k damage, 2750 were from a sniping distance. We did receive 6 hits in that game and only 3 penetrations with 3 bounces, which means that the gun mantlet can be trollish. It can pull off a bounce, but so if you are hull down, you can use it, but if not, the hull will always be an easy penetration for even tier 6 tanks. We did block 925 damage, and we did spot only 2 vehicles. That means that we didn't spot them first, but we were spotting for our own damage, and we did 1.2k assistance damage. Anyway guys, that was my take on the STA-1. Finally a decent tank after the boxes that preceded it, like all the Cheetos, cherries and whatever. Hope you enjoyed this video, and bye for now.